The gamer, the O.C.G, and I'm here playing Far Cry 6. Yara is an island in the heart of the Caribbean. In 1967, a guerrilla revolution led to a crippling blockade. Frozen in time for 47 years, the island collapsed into poverty, until a new leader was elected with a cure to rebuild paradise. El Presidente of Yara, Anton Castillo.
My true Yarans, I stand before you armed with truth. For too long, our country was stolen by politicians. But you elected a vision, a cure, a road to paradise. Viviro, created by our own brilliant scientists. The most effective treatment for cancer the world has ever seen. Grown within our precious tobacco. Modified with the purest fertilizer, Viviro is the key to rebuild paradise. But our paradise comes at a cost. This our enemies will never understand. Yara did not elect me to do what's easy, but to do what's right. And so, with renewed focus, I must extend the draft to paradise. True Yarans from across our island, chosen to produce enough Viviro to heal the world and save our country. These lucky Yarans will be chosen by random lottery.
Even my own son Diego will be drafted tomorrow.
Hey, Danny.
And like a true Yaran, he
Turn that shit off.
with a smile on his face.
Precisamente. Exactly what Castillo wants.
Enough politics, Lita.
You think the draft is only taking true Yarans? It's the outcasts, the poor, orphans like us.
He's bringing slavery back from the dead.
In Yara, you can't run from this.
Hang on. You the jungle with a bunch of guerrillas.
Libertad.
Now you're back here to recruit for Clara Garcia's local crusade? Come on, this is our big goodbye. Danny, fucking say something. They got my name wrong.
Danny, you could help Libertad. You're trained.
Would have been career military if you weren't such a fuck-up. Just come with us, Lita.
You never fucking listen, Danny.
Hey, time to go. Boss waiting. Drinks in Mexico. Dinner in Miami. Coño! Fucking blackouts.
Too big for a blackout.
You fucking packing? Oh yeah! What's going on?
Draftees must report for duty. You will join us to rebuild paradise.
What the fuck?
Draftees must report for duty. You will join us to
Go.
rebuild
All of
paradise.
us.
Alejo, don't!
Draftees must report for
Alejo,
duty.
get down!
You will join
Fuck
us to rebuild
Castillo!
paradise.
Alejo! No.
Draftees must report for duty. You will join
Danny,
us to rebuild paradise.
We have to go. Now!
The boat.
Draftees must report
You're
for
coming.
duty. You will join
Promise
us to
me,
rebuild
Lita.
paradise.
See. Come on, Danny.
Stay close, Lita. We have to get to the boat.
Okay, Danny.
When we get to Miami.
We'll say goodbye to Alejo. I promise.
Open up! This is the end.
Coño.
You are... I told you. There's nobody here.
Hey, Rojas! Should have answered the call. Next asshole who opens the door is Daniel Rojas. Come on.
This way.
Okay. I'm not resisting. What the fuck? Come on. I have a family. Wait. Don't shoot.
Gotta move. They're going to see us. That's a lot of soldiers, Rita.
So we take the source.
Honestly, I think Far Cry 6 is kind of underrated.
Ready, Danny? Get in the sword.
Where the fuck are you taking me?
And deserves a lot more praise than it gets, honestly. I really like Far Cry 6.
This is so fucked. Yeah, from when we were kids. Shit. Coño. So much blood.
I'm also in love with the world of Far Cry. I mean, Far Cry has always had a beautiful world. Don't get me wrong. Like, even Far Cry 2, which I'm not a big fan of, had a gorgeous representation of Africa. But I really think, like, aesthetically, Far Cry 6 is fucking gorgeous.
Good. That boat's not going to wait for us. Dead end. Stay with me, Lita. Shit. Lita, zipline. Just like fucking Luke.
Danny, you okay?
Yeah. Sorry. I wasn't here. Shit, Lita. Where are you? La Torre de Leon. Castillo's fucking castle.
Danny, over here. No, there's nothing.
Line up against the wall across it.
Fuck. Where the fuck are the police? They're just letting the military kill us.
See, that's gorgeous. Hold on. I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures.
La noche de la muerte. The boat's over there. Run! Keep moving, Lita. We're almost there.
to get on that boat.
Abuela, what the hell I'm gonna do with baseball cards?
Do you have any idea what these are worth? Let us through. Mierda!
Marco, always making new friends. Danny, you're late. Where's Alejo? Give up his ticket. For his family. Bullshit. Alejo's an orphan. Alejo's not going anywhere anymore. Come on, Marco. Let them on. Vamos. Good man.
Get on the boxing gown!
San Judas.
Gracias. Don't worry about it, chamaco. Here. That's all I've got.
This isn't right, Danny. We should be fighting, not running to the Yankees.
Alejo gave you a fucking gift, Lita. We survive. Same as the orphanage, same as the academy.
What's that?
No, this is a people boat. Dios mío, no!
The Wrath of Gus!
Before he was El Presidente, mi papa loved to fish. We would go out on a boat, just like this, and we would catch the fish, and then release them. He would say, it's not always about your stomach, mijo. It's about the challenge. Except when he caught a big, fat, juicy marlin, he was too proud to let that fish go.
Si tirano! You have poisoned Yara! You have poisoned your soul!
I have caught a very big fish today. Haven't I, Diego? Diego!
No way.
I have caught you, mijo. Now it's time to bring you home.
I don't want this anymore, Papa.
We have no choice.
Let them go. They can work. Make Viviro.
Truth or lies?
Truth.
They could be good workers. They could help rebuild paradise. But if you wanted them to live, you would have never set foot on this fucking boat. 13 years old. And Diego has such compassion for his people. These fish, we will catch and release.
Like I said, I feel like this game gets a bum rap that it doesn't deserve. I feel like Ubisoft in general gets a bum rap it doesn't deserve.
What the hell just happened?
I think we're fucked.
Vamos, vamos!
I absolutely love the look of this game.
Lita,
I can't feel my legs.
fuck. This is all my fault.
My phone.
Forget it, Lita.
My phone. This is the beach, Danny. It's fucking fate.
What?
She's hiding here. Clara. Libertad. Julio. Fuck. Julio. It's all here. Take my phone. Follow the code like when we were kids.
Stop it, Lita. Just wait. I'll find help.
No! You give her this. Clara will help you. Don't you get it? You're the lucky one, Danny. You're the lucky one.
Lo siento, Lita.
Anyway, what I was trying to explain is, like, Ubisoft has kind of gotten unfairly dragged in the past couple of years, and I fucking hate that. I'm a huge fan of Ubisoft. I always have been a fan of Ubisoft since I was a kid. I grew up playing, fucking Rayman, Prince of Persia, Splinter Cell, Beyond Good and Evil, Assassin's Creed. I was 10 years old when the first Assassin's Creed game came out. And I've always been a fan of Ubisoft. And it's kind of weird because, like, in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe, they've been, like, really dragged, and people are like, oh, they fucking hate them. And yet the games continue to sell, and they sell probably better than they ever have. Like, Valhalla and Far Cry 6 got a lot of hate, and yet they have thus far been like the best-selling games in their respective series. Long-running, successful series. And I think it just, like, people were saying Ubisoft is one of the worst companies in the world. Ubisoft has all this, like, sexist culture, and we haven't seen a single bit of proof of any of that. Like, I'm not going to condemn a fucking company with no proof. And all that we've seen is articles from Kotaku and fucking games journalists saying that an anonymous person at an anonymous time in an anonymous place was harassed by an anonymous person. There's literally not a single fucking bit of proof. We don't even know who. It's like a friend of a friend told me that this company is bad. You just gotta trust me. And of course I don't. You should present evidence. I mean, if it was so fucking widespread, you would fucking hope there would be some evidence. And this is not like, okay, look at Activision. They had all these rumors, and then it came out. The government, the state of California, sued Activision, is suing them. Witnesses came forward, testimony was done, criminal charges was levied. So with Activision, they were able to produce pictures, videos, receipts, eyewitness corroboration. Our government decided it was enough to do it. And our government doesn't usually get involved in shit like this. Normally, it's a civil case. So there's totally proof. And yet Ubisoft has been under the gun for longer than Activision, and none of that shit's come out. And I'm not a fucking clairvoyant. Who knows? It could be that Ubisoft did all these things, but I'm just saying that when you just believe off of hearsay and conjecture, it's always bad. For anyone. And I think a lot of these games that Ubisoft has released is fucking great, and I think in a lot of ways Ubisoft has done a lot of good. Like take Far Cry. Everyone is bitching about how, it's just the same formula since Far Cry 3. And, to that I say, number one, it's a good fucking formula. Number two, the fans like it. As evidenced by the fact that Far Cry 6 sold more than any other game in the entire series. some fans just want what they want. They don't need the game to come out and completely change everything every fucking time. And, I mean, honestly, I think that Far Cry has changed enough. They've changed the loot system in Far Cry 6. They changed the way that the shooting worked. They added co-op, you know, they added the different shit. And they, you know, the fact that each Far Cry game has been in a vastly different setting, also, in my opinion, goes a long way. Far Cry 3 was, like, set in, like, a Eastern Asian island. Far Cry 4 was the fucking Himalayas. Far Cry 5 was fucking Montana, America. Far Cry 6 is in the Caribbean, and based off of Puerto Rico. So it's like a bit of the Caribbean, a bit of Puerto Rico. So these settings could not be more different. And for me, in a game that's about exploring a world, making the worlds totally different, goes a long way towards making those feel fresh. But I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is, it's Far Cry fans like fucking Far Cry. There is a legion of people that are Far Cry fans, and they don't want them to throw out the fucking blueprint. And Ubisoft, wisely, is catering to their fans. And this is something that I think that gaming, movies, books, and all that has gone astray on, mind you, is they stopped catering to their fans, and they started to get newcomers. Now, don't get me wrong. It's always good to get newcomers. That's how you grow, yada, 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 okay? But first and foremost, you need to know your demographic, and you need to fucking market it. Because these people who have never played your game, these people who don't really give a fuck about your game, are not the ones that are going to buy your game. They're not the ones, okay? And 9 times out of 10, when you get these fucking social justice warriors, be it for movie games, whatever, they come in and say, well, this is problematic, yeah. They don't actually care about the fucking property. They care about being offended. They care about making a noise. They care about looking brave and getting their virtual dick sucked. Okay? So they will try to appease these fucking SJWs. And they'll do this or they'll do that, and they'll go against the fan base. They'll just do stuff that doesn't make fucking sense. Like Terminator. Killing John Connor and making it about some chick that we don't fucking know. You know? And those people who bitched will not go to theaters to see the new movie, will not buy the new game, because they never actually cared about the fucking property in the first place. The hardcore fans cared about the property. The hardcore fans are the ones that buy your game and get your season pass. The hardcore fans are the ones at the midnight release getting that fucking game. That consistently come back and play that fucking game. They're the ones that put the game execs' kids through college. And people in game companies used to know that. They say, okay, this is our demographic. We need to market to this. And instead, they decided to market to these assholes that didn't really care about the franchise. And then on top of that, they decided that they wanted to try and make a game for everyone. And when you try to make a game for everyone, you really make a game for fucking no one. Time and time again, they've tried to make a game for everybody, and it blew up in their fucking faces. So, you know, I really have no problem with Far Cry 6 because...
I should look for supplies and get the fuck out of here.
Because this game does exactly what a fan of the game series hopes it would do. It's well made. It's put together with love. It's Far Cry, but with better graphics and better gameplay. And a new map to explore, a new story. I don't need it to be more. And neither did the millions of fans who bought this game and consistently bought the game and kept buying the game. 2 years later, they made another fucking DLC. Only did that because it's very profitable.
Shit. Pistol's empty. Need to find that gun. How the fuck is he still working? The markings must be the code Lita was talking about.
Hey, how's it going? And on top of that, a key component of this whole fucking thing. I'm trying to figure out a way to put it. Nobody has really caught up to Far Cry. Like, people were talking about how Far Cry follows the same formula, fucking yada yada yada. But there hasn't been really anybody else doing what Far Cry is doing. Maybe if the market was fucking oversaturated and it just had so many people playing it, making Far Cry likes, it'd be like, well, I'm fucking tired of this. But how many games can you think of that do what Far Cry does? That are a shooter, that have a mass open world, that do that? I can't think of a whole lot. I mean, there's a couple of open world FPS games, but not really that many. Most open world games, the overwhelming majority are third person these days. And even the ones that are first person open world games, they're not like this. So even now, yeah, I'm okay. I don't know why you're asking me if I'm okay. I'm fine. And like I said, I cannot think of another game that's like this, that's a massive open world and has the shooting mechanics that this game does and what Far Cry does with the wingsuit and all that stuff. Okay? So, Far Cry is kind of doing its own thing. And so, a lot of people will come off their high horse and they'll criticize Far Cry and they'll say, oh, yeah, the trigger effects are really good, I agree. They'll come off their high horse and they'll say, it's just the same thing. But a lot of people who love Far Cry want more Far Cry because there's no other games like Far Cry. They play Far Cry and they're like, man, Far Cry is fucking awesome. And there is no other games that are like Far Cry presently, so they're like, man, I just want more of this. And Ubisoft gives it to them. Like, that's enough. And honestly, I think this game, as a whole, looks fucking great. I think this has probably my favorite map of any of the Far Cry games. Hey, look, there. And on top of which, the Far Cry games mostly avoided having urban areas. Like, I mean, the Far Cry games are about wilderness. That's fine. But the Far Cry games could always use a little bit more urban places, I thought. And then Far Cry 5 actually reduced the amount of urban stuff. Like, the biggest settlement in Far Cry 5 is literally the fucking, what's the name of that town in Far Cry 5? The main town. Hope Falls. Hope something. Falls End. There you go. The main town in Far Cry 5, Falls End, was super fucking small. And that's like the most you're gonna get in that fucking game. So, I was actually and I like Far Cry 5, don't get me wrong. But it was like they took a step backwards and they made it so there was like less bases and shit and towns than in 4. So I was really happy that in 6 they have like big towns you can wander around. They have a big fucking city you can wander around.
Shit, who's shooting? Better stay quiet.
Ugh. Hold on a second. Ugh. I gotta fucking... Ugh. I'm just trying to... Hold on one second. I was able to get a new phone, but it's cheap. But either way, it's still something needed. I'm not gonna scoff at it. And I had to restart the fucking thing. Okay, hold on one second. Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta fuck around on my phone. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. My phone was having an issue, and I thought it was like a real issue, and it turned out to just be resetting. I was able, like I said, my phone broke yesterday, and it was all fucked up, and I was worried because I need that for a lot of things like my streams. And then I was able to get a new phone, a cheap one, but one that did what I needed to do, and it was having problems, so I was worried. It took care of itself. It was just resetting, thankfully. Oh. It's like on PlayStation, I need my phone to see longer chats, and on Xbox, I literally cannot see any chats at all at your phone. Xbox streaming is in the fucking dark ages. Without a Twitch app on your phone, I can't see any chats on Xbox, and Xbox only does Twitch streaming. So, not having a proper phone makes streaming on PS5 more difficult, and it makes streaming on Xbox nearly impossible. Because people don't want to watch your streams if you're not going to respond to them. And I don't want to have a stream and have people talk to me and not be able to see it, so...
We're at the beach. Shota Libertad cockroach. I'm not that lucky. I want a platoon to seal this area off.
I'm not the only one looking for Clara.
And I actually think they pretty much made this game way better over time.
What's this? Could be useful.
Like, one thing I really, really fucking loved is in an update not too long ago, was it a couple months ago? They made it so you could switch ammunitions instantly. Like, in the original game, you had to have different ammunitions for different stuff, and it can make your life difficult if you didn't have the right ammunition. But now, so, like, if I brought the wrong weapon, I'd be like, fuck, I need to go and get another one. So it made you try to alter your shit so you could have all these different types of different ammunitions. Now, once you unlock the ammunition, you can instantly switch it on your weapon wheel. Such a great improvement. And then they added New Game Plus, another great improvement. And then finally, they made it so when you get it on the map and you open it, you can see what collectibles are in that region to help you if you're going for 100% complete. Which is always a good thing. This game has a lot of shit and it can be tough to find it all. Yeah, well, I mean, they're up there, but I still say for my money, man, yeah, they deserve respect. The Last of Us has the best accessibility options I've ever seen.
Get to Libertad, steal a boat, sell the fuck out of Yara. Easy. Now I'm talking to myself. Perfecto.
Oh, fuck.
And I mean, the stuff in that game actually is good. Give me 1 second. Got a heart palpitation. It happens with anxiety. It's still freaky. Okay, I just breathe through it and I'm fine. It freaks people out, but to me it happens all the time.
Been a while since I used one of these.
Even if you're not, like, disabled, the stuff in Far Cry 6 is so good that it... Or not Far Cry, what am I saying? The stuff in Last of Us is so good, it helps you out anyway. Like, you can add awareness indicators for when you're spotted in stealth. Because, you know, in Last of Us, whenever you'd be about to get caught, you'd always hear, like, the sound telling you, hey, you're about to be discovered. But you didn't know where, so sometimes you'd be caught before you could figure it out. So I love the fact that now in accessibility, you can turn on indicators that show you the direction you're being seen from, so you know where to get out of cover. Like, even if you're not disabled, that's just fucking helpful. And Far Cry was the first game to do that, but I applaud them for adding that. Or, something that I hate, I wouldn't say hate, hate's a strong word, but something that I dislike in a lot of games, like Dead Space, or the original Last of Us, was having to hold the button to sprint. I really dislike that. Especially if it's the left stick. Like, I like Lightning Returns, but that game made you sprint by holding in the left stick constantly, and it would hurt my fucking hand holding in the stick that long, because you're constantly running around that game. So I love the fact that in the remake, and in The Last of Us 2, you can remap the controls to whatever you want to, so you can make it left stick, and you can make it so it's a toggle. So I can actually just click the left stick and sprint, and not have to hold the fucking button. I like that way more than holding L1.
Gonna show your face before you shoot me? I'm Danny, a friend of Lita.
Silencio.
That's another thing I liked about the Dead Space remake. They finally added the ability to click to sprint.
You are the only survivor? Answer me. I said, are you the only survivor?
And people bitch about stuff they shouldn't bitch about.
Need to know the risks.
That's all you have to say?
You're here. That's what matters.
Just a second, hermana. I'm getting the hell out of Yara.
But you're in my camp.
I need a place to stay. A few days.
Libertas no charity, hermano.
Lita said you would help.
Lita also said you weren't a pussy.
Come mierda.
You're an orphan, see? Funny how friends can be closer than family. Remember, Danny, Castillo has kept you an orphan. Why do you want to run?
I watched Castillo order
People-
a whole boat of our people shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Get as far away as you can from that psychopath.
People even make fun of shit for this game that no reason.
Order.
I'll say it in a second after I'm done saying this.
It's Pedro Albizu.
Gonna save Yara with library cards?
I have a list. Free elections, free expression, free the outcasts. Ayara free of Castillos. Simple.
Simple. Castillo's got what? 300,000 troops? I count 6 burnt-out guerrillas, and you, with a bullet to the leg.
You don't believe me? I'll show you. We launched an attack from our base to this island. It was a basic operation. Hit a Viviro tobacco plantation, snatch some fuel, and go home. But Castillo's forces were waiting. Got us down from 60 to 6.
You need to get back to your base.
Yes, but this island is surrounded by a blockade. We don't have boats, we don't have much gear. And we are not leaving until that Viviro plantation goes up in smoke. But we are guerrillas. We know this land inside out. You're already familiar with our guerrilla paths. They were built by the legends in 67. They're spread like a web across all of Yara. Now, they're ours. Guerrilla paths are good to ambush soldados or to hide if the army is on your back. They have caches that will help you survive.
And all this is legit? This map is old as hell.
Made for turistas. Yeah, it's out of date, but you got the regions, municipalities, and landmarks of Yara. You'll get used to it. Now I need to call in some favors with the locals to get us a boat, and you need to go find me Juan Cortez.
Juan.
Someone who can make one guerrilla fight like 1,000.
You know I'm not a guerrilla, right? You tell Lita that?
I'll give you food, a bed, even a goddamn boat to sail to the Yankees. But it's gonna cost you bullets and blood. You can shoot, so shoot. Settle in, and let me know when you want to pay your rent.
Anyway, people even made fun of this game for stupid shit that just makes no sense. Like, how they intermix parts of... they complain about how they mix parts of the language, the Spanish language, with the English language. Okay? They do that for a fucking reason.
Time for Juan.
They do that because they can still give it a Latin flavor while being in English so you understand it. Okay? That's a good thing. That's commendable. And, like, for example, Assassin's Creed 2. I was so fucking enamored with Assassin's Creed 2 and that game's language that I learned some Italian because of that game. I learned about Italian culture, and I still know some Italian from that game. Because it's in English, yes, but then they have bits and pieces of a flavor. Requiescat in pace. Madonna. Shit like that. Trying to impress upon you parts of the culture and the language. It would be more disrespectful for them to just have all the fucking Latin people talking like Bob from accounting.
To come home. You ready?
Right?
Got your first job. I attacked this arc. Get down to that village and bring me Cortez. I hope for your sake you go.
Right, Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is great. I fucking love Sleeping Dogs.
Danny, how's the earpiece? Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. This spy shit works, Clara. I'll give you that.
Bien. Keep your gun holstered if you want to stay out of trouble, especially in areas with a lot of soldados.
See, I got it.
A smart guerrilla picks their battles. Suerte.
It makes me genuinely sad that we're not ever going to get a sequel to that. But just one more time that Square Enix mismanaged a studio. Like, Square Enix knows their shit when it comes to role-playing games. Japanese role-playing games.
Pull my weapon away to avoid trouble.
But Square Enix does not know how to manage Western properties, and they have consistently fucked them up. Hitman, Just Cause, Mad Max, fucking Tomb Raider, Thief. I mean, they've mismanaged them. And in a lot of those cases, it was purely their management that fucked them. Because the actual games themselves were good. Like, you know, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. That was a great fucking game. That was a worthy follow-up. But Square Enix didn't almost do any marketing for that game. And then when the game came out, and it came out during a packed season, and it undersold, they basically canceled the series, and it was due to them not fucking marketing the game at all, and releasing it against all these other big fucking hitters.
What does he look like?
Older, wears a fedora, dresses like a tourist, never stops fucking talking.
Hey! Hey!
Papers.
I don't have them on me.
That looks like a Juan.
Yeah.
Today we drink in the worst fucking cantina in Yara. Or is it Colombia? Kirat, Chechnya.
And now the story's left on a massive cliffhanger.
De nada.
Guapo, you listen. Rule 16. A guerrillero's revolution never ends. Always another war, another cantina, another ugly bartender.
Juan Cortez.
I hope that now that Embracer bought it, that they'll make another Deus Ex game.
This isn't a fucking zoo, abuelo.
Clara sent me to find you.
See, I learned long ago never to doubt her. You will too. Hey, I know you.
Don't think so.
Yeah, I know you. It's like I'm looking at a mirror, Guapo.
What are you talking about?
Those eyes, guerrilla. You got a taste. You convince yourself you're a hero, but you wake up a junkie, just like Juan Cortez.
This is a fucking waste of time.
Can you whistle?
What?
Nah, you can't whistle.
A la pinga!
You fucking rat.
You're worth more dead anyway.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite Far Cry game as well.
was in love with you. And I ruined the only copy of my book. Bueno, mis socios, vámonos. Once again, we have outstayed our welcome.
I think everything in this game came together.
Shows up. I'm drunk, but I'm not that drunk.
Right behind you, old man.
I don't care about the health bars. They don't really bother me.
Be your friend, or maybe he just needs to take a dump.
Only one way to find out.
Come on, let's get the fuck out of here. I can tell you handled a gun before. What's your name?
Danny. So Clara says you're a legend. Ex-KGB, ex-CIA.
I got more fucking exes than your porn search history.
Ah.
Some men, they break eggs for breakfast. But Juan Cortez, he breaks fucking countries. Hold up. New plan, Danny. Vamos.
The plan is to go back to Clara's camp. Where the hell are we going now?
See that smoke? That means the watchtower just got a supply drop with some of the rarest materials you'll find in Yara. And you are going to go get it.
Now you want me to steal shit for you?
Gunpowder and Supremo Bond. The cerveza and chaser of Resolver. I'm gonna teach you to make shit for weapons. Because making shit for weapons is cool. And it's rule number 9. Always use the right tool for the right job.
You coming with me?
Fuck no. You got Guapo. You can tear shit up with him. But if you want to be sneaky, leave him behind. That cutie loves to make a mess.
At least you're here to help Guapo. Weapon or not, the military will shoot me on sight here. Guess this could be useful. More shit for one. What the hell are you going to do with this one? This is more like it. Found all your shit, Juan.
Good work, Danny. Now hurry up already. We need to get back to Clara's camp.
Yeah, big camps, diverse locations, more buildings. Better custom, yeah, exactly. I also love the fact they finally brought back characters that talk. I did not like the fact that Far Cry 5 and New Dawn went to a silent protagonist. As a whole, I've kind of gotten tired of silent protagonists in games. So I'm really glad they brought back a character. In fact, they brought back the most vocal character ever. Like he talk, whether you play a girl or a guy, they talk way more than they ever did in any of the other games. So I liked it when the character talks and is a part of the story.
Okay, we got more than enough. Let's get the fuck out of here.
And you know, they always say, well, we have silent protagonists because it allows you to get in the role. It allows you to feel like you're in the game. Well, I always find it ironic because for me, I feel more in the game and more like the character when the character is voiced.
So what's with all of this junk? You building something?
Patience, Danny. Rule number 8. A guerrilla knows how to wait. Like a spider or a serial killer. So, how did you get to this godforsaken hellhole?
I was on a refugee ship. We didn't get far.
Yeah. And I came here in a chopper in our baby invasion of Santuario. Shot straight out of the goddamn sky. No, I mean, what's your story?
The orphanage in Esperanza. Then the military. I'm no guerrilla. Just helping Clara out until she gets me off this island.
Rule 20. Once a guerrilla, always a guerrilla.
I think I like the story in all the Far Cry games.
The horse is out of the barn, and now the fucking cocaine is all over the kids, Danny.
I like the story in 3, 4.
America is my option.
I thought the story in 5 was okay.
Of course. And you think Americans want your Yaran blood? The American dream is for Americans, Danny.
You don't quit, do you?
Nope. Guapo hates quitters.
Coño. If you two are so close, why is he following me?
Guapo goes with those who need him most. Like
Yeah.
those therapy dogs in your precious America. You can trust Guapo with your life.
Yeah. Not sure I'm there yet.
You got time.
That's a good picture, actually. They really did waste the potential with fucking AJ. They set it up They set him up really good in Far Cry 4. And to Americans, he's AJ Gale, and to the Canadians, he's Ajay Gale. And he's two different people, the two different sides of him. But they were like afraid of people bitching about Brody in 3 talking too much, so he wasn't a silent protagonist, but he may as well have been, because you could take AJ out of the fucking story, and he would make a difference. If anything, the story of Far Cry 4 is fucking Pig and Min's story. Stop the bus, shoot the bus. I'm very particular with my words. I got blood on my fucking shoe. I love Pig and Min.
So I can fly you to the Yankees?
No, that's...
It's grounded, but I'm working on it. Patience, Danny. Now it's time for Juan Cortez to show you how to make something out of nothing. But I will tell you rule number 9.
You just did.
Always use the right tool for the right job. Words to live by.
And he's the only one in that game that's actually fucking honest with AJ. The people that are supposedly AJ's friend, Sabal and Amita, are just as fucking bad as Pagan Men. They just lie about it. Your ass is like a special.
The legend returns.
The legend needs to piss, Jefa.
Who's she?
She was a journalist who dared call Anton fascista. Now she's an outcast, a slave for his paradise. And she's not the only one, Danny.
I also like the villains in Far Cry 5 as well. Particularly, Faith.
When I was 6, I rigged my first bike with a chainsaw motor. The blockade means I have to resolver every day, Juan.
Nah, that's survival. For a guerrilla, resolver isn't just making do with...
No, he didn't. He was totally honest.
Chaos. With everything you got.
Keep talking.
A guerrilla's best weapon is the workbench. Let's take a crack at those weapons. No offense, but your battle rifle is a little basic. Let's fix that. Rule number 9. Always use Sometimes I lie awake at night asking myself, excellent, Danny. Now you can pop enemy flesh like a ripe watermelon.
Right?
Okay, let's look at your other rifle.
I agree.
Let's say your target remembered to These rounds fly nice. Now you got your own supply of high-velocity war crimes. Let's look at your attachments. Time to make your very first... This will turn a bang. See how easy that was? Now you can silently headshot your enemies like a real asshole. The workbench is your friend, Danny. A friend with benefits. Go ahead, Danny. Get cozy with it.
That your crocodile?
Damn. Making shit is addictive.
That workbench, you can build a new Yara.
You don't belong here.
All right, I'm going to save. I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to play another game. If you want to watch, you can. I'm just trying to play a lot of stuff I've been neglecting to play.